Consider Dylan Thomas to be a metaphysical poet? ANS. Dylan Thomas was greatly influenced by his pious mother, who used to go to the church regularly and read no books except the Bible. From her he acquired the unformulated love of God. His knowledge of biblical myth and phraseology colored most of his writing. In his maturity, Thomas was greatly influenced by John Donne and other metaphysical thought poets of the 17th century. But Thomas cannot be regarded as a religion's poet in the sense in which Herbert and Fawn were. His poetry is not devotional poetry or the poetry of worship. He is not even a writer of hymns in praise of a personal God. He may be regarded as a religion's poet in a broad sense. A religious poet celebrates the creation and more particularly the human condition. Such a poet perceives in both man and the world a force of love or creation which is more divine than either man or the world, a force of death or destruction which is more terrible than man or the world. The force that through the green fuse expresses a divine scheme of things in the processes of both man and nature. M. Maughan. The poem in October is replete with religious sentiments, all through the poem. The poem starts with a religious feeling. It was my 30th year to heaven. Thomas celebrates the 30th birthday, but for him a birthday is not an occasion of joy, but of grief, because he feels that every birthday is one more forward step in his march towards heaven, i.e. death. In a mystical mood he feels that everything belongs to him, that everything in nature is being done for his sake. The world around seems to be made for the celebration of his birthday. The poet finds all nature holy. The herons sitting on the shore seem to him to be priests, praying for him. Even the waves of the ocean seem to rise high in order to pray to the heaven. For the poet, the calls of the seagull coming from the shore and that of the rooks from the wood are full of blessings, for they rouse him from sleep in the morning. Further, the visions of the birds flying over the farms and the white horses, proclaiming the poet's name, and that of the wet church, looking like a snail with its horns through mist, are the expressions of a religious sentiment. To highlight the glorious visions of his childhood, the poet refers to the parables of sunlight and the legends of the green chapels, green woods, which are also tinged with a mystic vision. The poem ends with a religious tone. The poet offers a prayer that in future, he may continue to recall the pleasures of his childhood. Ply. To sum up, Dylan Thomas does not advocate any particular theology, but the biblical imagery and a kind of religious sentiment lend a sacred character to some of his poems. His poetry is a celebration of man, which is also a celebration of God, and of Godhead in man. His poetry is a record of his search for God, and as he makes the search, he is a religious poet in a broad sense.